Hey guys, how's it going? Eric here, and today I'm doing a quick little video to show you how to smoke some tri-tip. Now, those of you that are unfamiliar with this cut of meat, it's a cut of beef from the bottom sirloin. It's a small triangular piece of meat that usually weighs between 1.5 pounds all the way up to 3 pounds. I know it's kind of difficult to locate this particular cut of meat because it's not really popular in other parts of the country and other parts of the world, but here in California it's becoming more and more popular. It was really discovered in the 1950s when someone decided to take this cut of meat, which is usually ground up for ground beef, and they decided to season it and barbecue it. And it's become very popular ever since. It's a delicious piece of meat. It cooks very well, whether you barbecue it, whether you smoke it, you can cook it in the oven. There's a lot of different ways you can cook this. But today I'm going to try smoking. If you're new to smoking, this is a good place to start because it's pretty easy to cook. It's kind of hard to screw up. The worst thing you can do is overcook it because if you overcook it, it gets way too tough. So you want to try to cook it to a medium at the most. Usually you want to take it off at the medium rare setting because it will continue to cook once you take it off the heat. You want to tent it in foil. But we'll get to that later on in the video. I have two here that I picked up. They're each around 3 pounds, and I'm going to do each one a little bit differently. The first one, I'm going to use a dry rub, which is a house rub here from a local butcher in Huntington Beach, Beef Palace. And this is just a combination of salt, garlic, and spices, paprika, and a few other things. I've never tried this, but it came highly recommended. And then the second one, I'm going to actually use a liquid marinade, and it's this McCormick Grill Masters Montreal Steak Marinade. If these particular, obviously this rub's not going to be available depending on where you live or this particular brand. Any kind of marinade, whether it's a wet marinade or a dry rub, will work with this. If you're having a hard time finding it, ask your local butcher. Sometimes they call it Santa Maria steak because that's where it was first popularized here in California. Sometimes it's referred to as the Newport steak. But just let them know it's the bottom sirloin triangular piece, and hopefully most butchers will be able to get this piece for you. In any case, let's get started. Alright guys, here we are. Here's how the tri-tip looks like. Once you take it out of the package, you want to rinse it real good under cool water, and you want to pat it dry with a paper towel. This one I've already took the liberty of mixing with the water, red wine vinegar, and that Montreal steak seasoning, and I just put it in a bag. You kind of want to massage it all around, take all the air out of it, and I'm just going to leave this in the fridge overnight. You know, let that meat soak up all those juices and spices. Every few hours, I'm going to go flip it over until I go to bed, obviously, just so each side can have an even dose of spices. This is the one here that I'm going to use the dry rub. So you obviously want to put it someplace where you don't get the rub all over. I'm using just regular olive oil. You just want to kind of brush it with some olive oil. Now there's some other options here. You just want to get the meat moist so the spices can adhere to it. Some people use just regular old yellow mustard and they'll spread it on evenly. That works very well. I've heard people use Worcestershire sauce, you know, but for me, olive oil isn't going to do anything to the flavor other than, you know, help this stick to it. So we take the dry rub out, and we're just going to go to town. We're going to put a heavy dose here. Whoops. That's a big piece. It's getting kind of clogged up in the process. So yeah, it should be interesting to see tomorrow when I'm done smoking these, and we do a side-by-side comparison on which one we like better. My mom's coming down tomorrow, and my wife. We're all going to taste test these two and see which one we like better. So you can see the dry rubs on there. And you're just going to reverse it on the second side here. Of course, I got dry rub all over my fingers, but you know what? Such is the case whenever you are cooking. You got to get down and dirty. So we'll put all that on there. As you can see, these tri-tips too, the fat has been trimmed off. Sometimes people prefer to keep more fat on there because it helps keep it juicy. particularly if you're going to barbecue it at a higher heat, like 350, 400 degrees on the grill for a half hour. It's not necessarily a bad idea to grill it with the fat side up, so the fat kind of helps keep the meat juicy. You know what? I'm going to open up this side here. Go for the gusto. Yeah, there we go. Let's not fool around. So that's it. You just want to kind of massage the rub in. I'm also going to put this in a plastic bag like this. And this will also marinate in the refrigerator overnight. And I'll take it out tomorrow, probably around, half hour, 45 minutes before I'm actually ready to put it on the smoker. You always want to let the meat come to room temperature before you actually throw it on the grill or in the smoker. I'm not particularly sure why that is, but I've heard that so many times and I just kind of follow that rule. So anyway, this is what you do with the marinade, whether it's a liquid or a dry rub. You marinate it. It's always best to let it marinate overnight if you have the time. If you're, pinched for time, as long as you can get the dry rub or the marinade on it, maybe in the morning if you're cooking it for afternoon lunch or dinner, even a couple hours is better than nothing. So whatever you can, whatever you have time for, definitely try to let it sit as long as possible. Okay, guys, we'll see you tomorrow when we're ready to put these on the smoker. All right, guys, welcome back. We're in the next day. I just took these out of the fridge. This was the wet marinade. This was the dry rub. We're just going to let them sit here, come to room temperature. I'm going to cover them with foil. Just let them sit here. I'm soaking my wood chips. I'm using hickory with a little bit of apple. And you want to cook this 220 to 240. Should take around 2 hours. You'll know it's done when it reaches an internal temperature of between 130 and 140. So to take the guesswork out of it, I highly recommend getting a remote thermometer. This one's kind of nice because I can actually keep this inside and look at it at a glance to see exactly what the temperature of the food that I'm cooking is without having to kind of hover around the smoker all afternoon. But yeah, so we'll let this sit. I'm going to put the thermometer in one of these and we'll keep track of it. We'll put it on the smoker in around a half hour once these things come to room temperature. All right, guys, got my Smoke Hollow Pro Series smoker going. Got to keep it between 220, 240. I put the 2 tri-tips in there. Wet marinade on the left, dry rub on the right. We've got the water pan in here. I got the thermometer on the one here. We got it set. We're going to try to pull it off probably around 130 degrees, and then I'm going to do a quick sear on the grill just to lock in some flavors, give it that barbecue flavor. 2-3 minutes on a very hot grill each side. This should be awesome. So now we just got to wait around 2 hours or so, but with my handy dandy thermometer I'll be able to check it periodically from inside. So now's the time to kick back, enjoy a cold beer, and wait for it to be done. All right, guys, it's been around an hour, 45 minutes. Let's check it out right now. The temperature's right at around 240. Internal temperature, yep, just under where I want to take it off. Probably just going to need a few more minutes. Check it out here. Oh yeah, looking good. Looking good. We'll wait till it gets up to 5 or 6 more degrees on the internal temperature. Then we're going to take it off and do a quick sear, or a reverse sear as they call it. I'm going to heat up the grill right now, get it real nice and hot just so I can do a couple minutes on each side. Should be perfect. Alright guys, I just removed the tri-tips from the smoker. They have an internal temperature of 130 degrees. One of the disadvantages of cooking with the smoker, actually the only one I could ever think of, is you don't get that kind of hard, crispy, burnt barbecue outside shell of the meat, which adds a lot of flavor, helps sear in some of the juices. So a quick way to solve that is take it off when it's 130 and throw it on a very hot grill. I've had this heated up for a few minutes just to sear in the juices. So let's do that right now. That's still a little hot. Get my little handy dandy mitt. I don't want to burn myself. All right. And that one was a dry rub. And that one is the liquid marinade. So we're just going to sear this for a few minutes on each side, get a little crispy coating on it. Then I'm going to take them off the grill, put them inside, tent them both with foil, and you want to let the meat rest at least 20 minutes to a half hour to allow the juices to settle. If you just slice right into it right away, all the juices are going to run out. So you just want to sit. It's also going to continue to cook a little bit underneath the aluminum foil tent, which is fine, and just let it do its thing, you know. So I will finish grilling these up, and we'll check them out in a little bit. All right, guys, I have the tri-tip here. You just want to cover them up, like I mentioned, with the aluminum foil. And just let them cool down, let all the juices settle. We'll be back in around a half an hour to slice these open. All right, guys, here we are with the tri-tip. It's been resting. Time to slice it open. Now with tri-tip, you always want to slice against the grain. So you can see the grain's kind of running along this way. So I'm just going to start slicing pieces this way here. You can see, of course, I cut around 1/4 inch pieces. The pieces on the end, of course, are going to be a little bit more well done just because they're on the end. Oh, it's looking good. It's looking good. This is the one with the dry rub. Oh, see, perfect. All right, I can't wait anymore. I'm going to try me a little piece. You can see the little smoke ring on there. Looks absolutely wonderful. Oh my goodness. Absolutely delicious. I'll slice this one up. I'll slice the rest of the second one. Boy. And then later on when my mom and wife and son comes home, we'll all have a taste test and see which one we like better. Alright guys, this is the second one. I'm just going to take a look here. This was the Montreal steak seasoning. Also sliced against the grain. Oh my goodness. Of course, never fails, right? When I'm filming, the landscape guy got to show up with his blower. Oh, but this just looks beautiful. Alright, let's take a look here. Oh my. Again, you can see the little smoke ring there. Gotta try it. Oh boy. They're both delicious. Alright. Be back in a second when the family's here. We'll see what they have to say.
Hi guys, my name is Kyle, so you know.
He's gonna try the tri-tip now.
These videos, and I'll be doing some Lego videos on my own little channel.
Try the tri-tip.
I'm gonna try this tri-tip. Hi, found one.
Oh, here comes little sister.
What do you think? I'm gonna do the turkey from Thanksgiving.
I will.
It reminds you of the turkey from Thanksgiving?
Mm-hmm.
Give him a little piece of the salmon there.
Here, Kyle.
Christmas.
Try a piece of salmon.
Okay, there you're trying the salmon now.
They're both pretty good.
Okay, well that's pretty good coming from him. And now we have one last family member that wants to give an opinion here, and we've got little Bella. Bella, we need to know what you think.
What's that?
Aw, so good even the dog approves.
It looks like Bella
Loving it.
approves. Alright guys, here's my mom and my wife. We're going to taste test the tri-tip. So each take it. Let's try the left side first.
Okay.
And tell me what you guys think. What do you think?
How does
It's
this work?
a delayed kick, but boy, is it good.
Well, that's actually the liquid marinade. That's the
Which one, the
Montreal
left?
steak seasoning. Try the right one now. That's the dry rub. Tell me if you can tell the difference.
Mm,
I like the second one better.
The dry rub?
me too.
Mm.
And there you have it.
Is that from the butcher?
That's that butcher dry rub.
Mm. That's
Yeah.
the best.
Mm-hmm. The second one.
Yeah.
All right.
But
so
they're
now-
both delicious.
No, they're both good. I went home.
Mm-hmm.
All right, guys. Thanks for watching. Subscribe and like the video.